unlocking the future of healthcare, overcoming barriers to AI and immersive technology adoption.
So, good afternoon, everyone, and I'd like to thank you to join us today. Today, I'd like to explore a future and let us imagine what the future of healthcare technology can go, and where innovation is not just on the horizon, but a reality that shapes our daily experiences. Now, the opportunities are absolutely amazing, and we can see some here today. But the main aim is to ensure that we get universally accessible healthcare, which can be deeply personalized, improved and consistent patient outcomes, and operational efficiencies and cost savings, which can significantly transform how healthcare is delivered. Thanks to the advancements, this future is probably closer than we actually think it is, and we can see some of those changes taking place already. The healthcare industry as a whole is poised for disruption, and implementing technology like AI and immersive tech allows us to take full advantage to enable better patient care, lower costs, and system-wide value creation. But with disruption come many challenges, and those challenges are things that we need to overcome to be able to unlock this future. And as a woman coming from a professional healthcare family and working in this technology, it's something that's really key and to my heart, and I'm very passionate about. But let's start with why now. Why is the healthcare industry so ripe for this disruption? And we've heard many of this through MedTech here today. So for me, I'd like to highlight two key drivers. The first is over the last 100 years, healthcare education delivery has seen minimal transformation. We've all been wrapped around different people to try and understand how that healthcare can come to light. Clinicians need to absorb a vast amount of information and deploy that experience in high-stake and high-pressure environments, and that can take a high toll. Add a global talent shortage to this, and you have a system in urgent need of modernization to keep up with the growing demands. The second is a bit businessy, but you have a lot of convergence of technology coming together, and we can see how that's disrupted other industries. But now we're starting to see those technologies converge to start coming together to tackle the most complex problems in healthcare. And good examples are AI and genomics, which are speeding up drug design and clinical trials, predictive analytics and big data, which are enhancing early cancer detection. And we're starting to build smart hospitals and retirement homes, which adopt this technology and ensure that you have connected devices, remote monitoring, and AI to enhance the effectiveness of care. But there's a lot of apprehension around this, and Mr. Joetian Abela yesterday actually mentioned his voice in Terminator. There's a scary side to this technology, where we've grown up with sci-fi fiction and movies telling us this can take over, and those scary elements can become more and more of a possibility as we grow. So let's take a look back and bring the challenges to the forefront of what's standing in our way. So, firstly, data privacy and security concerns. Medical data is highly private and personal, and therefore we need stringent measures and compliance with privacy regulation to ensure that this is protected. AI relies on vast data sets and to be effective AI relies on vast data sets, and we need to make sure that we can enhance the concerns around the data breaches and cyber attacks, which are becoming more and more common. There is the ethical and legal dilemmas which we need to face. There are questions around bias, fairness, and transparency in AI-driven decisions, which fuel ongoing ethical debates. And the lack of standardization in regulation means developers are facing unpredictable pivots as frameworks are shaped. The legal dilemma also comes to mind. And an example I'll give, while not medically related, is of a US lawyer citing case precedent when that case precedent didn't exist, purely because he used ChatGPT without verifying the answers. In that case, who takes responsibility? If there's an AI-driven decision which leads to a bad patient outcome, who's responsible? Who's liable? These questions all need to be answered. Next, integration with legacy systems. So a lot of hospitals are still utilizing outdated and fragmented IT systems where data is not clean and therefore not ready to support this new technology. It means that there's a high cost and complexity integration which can delay that adoption, and an obscure short-term value proposition means that you can potentially end up having a difficulty in obtaining the investment needed. We also need to address the trust and acceptance from healthcare professionals. They're cautious due to the legal exposure that they face, and that trust needs to be earned. AI systems need to be transparent, reliable, and easy to understand for them to really embrace it. We also need to address the concerns of job displacement. The amount of times that we hear that AI is going to take everyone's jobs is immense. And healthcare professionals have taken a lot of time and effort to get where they need to be, so they definitely need to be heard in this case. Also, currently, there are still a lot of high upfront costs, and in immersive tech, you also have issues of containerization, which means they're expensive to maintain and update. That uncertainty around the return on investment means that we need to justify who holds the purse strings. So there's also a workforce skills gap. So currently we have healthcare professionals and we have technology professionals. There are very few that actually can bridge that gap. And usually that bridge happens in places like here. So that expertise needs to come together to make sure that we can achieve the successful deployment of these technologies. Patients also harbor their own concerns. There's a 2022 Accenture study where 55% of respondents have linked concerns about immersive tech and equate them to social media in terms of security and privacy risks, as well as misinformation. So we need to earn patients' trust and make sure that they're using this ethically and well. And finally, the digital divide. Unfortunately, not all patients have access to the necessary digital infrastructure, especially in low-income and rural areas. This creates a vast inequality in access to benefits of this type of innovation and risks making the economic divide even bigger than it already is. So yes, we've talked about all the challenges, but what can we do? How can we overcome these barriers? And how do we become the heroes of this story of change? So, to unlock the full potential of AI and immersive technology, we need collaboration, education, and careful planning. And that needs to all come together. So let's start discussing collaboration. So we need to make sure that everyone, all stakeholders are included, professionals, technologists, regulators, and investments. Seeing the innovation here is clearly that has already started. We need to embrace the creation of industry-wide standards. Frameworks like the EU AI Act, the OECD AI principles, and additional bodies such as ISO and IEEE provide a good foundation for this technology. But healthcare standards need to be updated. Interoperability of technology and open development standards need to be at the forefront of design to ensure that we have seamless integration. AI models also need to provide explainable outputs with clear indications of their limitations, and this is essential to build the trust in its capability and its inclusivity. Education is a key part of this, and we need that to adapt overall. From healthcare professionals to patients, everyone needs to be educated from what the technology can do now and its potential. Also, as we progress, new interdisciplinary roles will emerge to bridge the gap between healthcare and technology. These are currently filled by people like us, but new graduate education needs to be created for further support. So, phasing implementation. We definitely can do this and start modularly implementing things. We need to start small, scale smart, and iterate. And finally, addressing the digital divide. This is probably the hardest to overcome, as government and private sector leaders need to work together to expand this digital infrastructure, as well as the data sets. And subsidizing technology and education programs can also help close this gap. So in conclusion, while there are many barriers to AI and immersive technology adoption in healthcare, they are not insurmountable. We can break through these obstacles and unlock a future where healthcare is not just efficient, but more equitable and personalized for all. The time for transformation is now, and together we can lead that change.